Welcome to Els of Life Show, where the only Els we catch are light, love, and laughter. We believe in the power of a positive perspective, peace, and purpose. I am Tola Ayodeji, call me T, and thank you for joining me today. I have with me here today Frank Ikemefune, who wants to be introduced as a content creator when in fact he is a media consultant, a TEDx speaker, a global speaker. He's very creative and he's a thought leader. Thank you for joining me. I feel so honored and blessed that you are here with me sitting here today. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad to be here.
It's so good to have you here. So how do you feel you arrived at this state of mind? I watch your content, and the way that you speak and your perspective, your mindset is very emulating. So I want to know if you would share with me and my listeners, how do you feel you got here today? Share a little bit about the things you've accomplished and how you got to be the person you are today.
Okay, so I've always been a creative person, from when I was year high. I was from age 5, 6, I used to read newsletters in front of the church, a large audience, so a large congregation. So I'd kind of gotten used to presenting or performing in some form. So there was never anything like stage fright or shyness for me. So also I'd always kind of known that eventually I would do whatever it is I found myself doing would be in full public glare, because everywhere that I went to while growing up, I'd always been like one of the most popular guys and stuff, the clown, life of the body, reputation, right? So also I was an avid reader while growing up. I never had toys.
Wow.
While growing up, my toys were books, newspapers, magazines, journals. Those were the things I read throughout growing up. I didn't have toys, and because I didn't particularly have interest in them, my parents had no motivation to buy them for me. So because I used to go take my dad's books where he kept them, I was about 6, 7 when I started reading James Hadley Chase, Sidney Sheldon and stuff. So I read a lot while growing up, but I would say that there was a lot of knowledge, right? I had a plethora of seemingly useless knowledge, but there was no application of it. So I think the application came around 2023. That's about 2 years ago. But because I literally could see, how it was almost visual. Like, this is the level I used to think on. Now I think on this level. Like, I could see the elevation, so to speak, or the progress. It was almost tangible for me. It was after a series of events that I'd rather not disclose, but it was all my life I'd been described as, intelligent, smart, brilliant, but I'd never been called wise.
Wow.
So but from 2023 till now, incidentally, wise is what they call me the most.
You're definitely wise.
You get me? So I would say that maybe everything has come full circle. The plethora of, that's why I said, seemingly useless knowledge. To me, then, all of the information that I was garnering were not particularly applicable in real life context, except for, like dexterity in conversations. But I would say now there's use for the knowledge, and real time, contextual conversations. So I would say everything has come full. It's coming full circle. Let me not say has come full circle. It's coming full circle.
Yes.
I came into the entertainment scene doing music. I won the biggest rap competition in Nigeria. So I thought that, like I mentioned earlier, I said that I'd always seen myself as somebody who would do something in public glare. So when I started that, I thought, this is it. But music didn't work out in the way that I thought it would. I was popular in the industry.
Right.
But the music did not transcend. Right. So after a while, I started putting out again, circling back to what I mentioned earlier, being a clown, life of the party. Started putting out comedy content, and that went viral fast. It went viral very fast, and it was a tectonic shift from where I was before. I was already kind of popular, but then it went up a notch, So then I thought, this is it. Right. But I only did that for like 5-6 months. I was really popular. I was on almost every news channel in Lagos.
5-6 months.
I'm telling you, almost on every news channel in Lagos. I was being invited to the private homes of captains of industry, and just stuff of comedy content. The name of the comedy content was If an Agbero Had a Diary. Right. But it was like an Agbero with an inclination for intellect, right? So he aspired to be more than being a street urchin, right? So I was just doing that content like that, and it went really viral. But then again, in about 5-6 months, I stopped it because I started feeling this knowing that this is not the end point. So if I build permanence around temporary things, I'm in trouble. Right. So it was at the height of it. At the height, the decision did not make sense to everybody around me. You're leaving money on the table, because I was making money, right? You're leaving money on the table. I left, and I went off the grid for about a year plus. Nothing, and then I came back with this content.
And you came back with this. Came back bigger. And
glory to God.
Touching more people, and so positively. And that's what I do here. That's what I intend to do with my life. I want to see impact through me and with me. And speaking of, wisdom and all, I thought I was going to do this much later in life, because I thought, with more age, with more experiences, with more wisdom, then towards the end of my life is when I would do something like this.
You aggregate your experiences.
Right. But then towards the end of 2023, something just kept telling me the time is now. The time is now. And then I decided to do it. Why wait? Because wisdom is applied knowledge, right?
Yeah.
I have knowledge. Yeah. Other people have knowledge. We can share, bounce that off of each other, and share wisdom. And why wait? The time is now, because people are going through things, and we need to talk about it. We need to get into things. Okay. So, out of all the things that you're into, which would you say bring you the most joy?
Brings me the most joy. Okay, so I would say the content that I put out now, shedding light on, different concepts and subject matters in life, real issues. I would say that gives me the most joy. The other things that I do or that I'm inclined to do also give me joy. Right. So let's be clear about that. Everything that I invest my time and effort in, first of all, has to be something that would give me joy. Otherwise, it will not be worth my time. Right. So everything that I do or that I have done, venture-wise, has given me joy. But because this ties into much deeper issues, I can imagine when people send you messages about having been depressed for so long, and then they see a video of yours, and then that gives them perspective, and then they are willing to fight again.
Yeah.
I don't. That's unquantifiable. I can't quantify that. So I would say that, it's so humbling. It's so humbling because, again, I do not consider myself as, first of all, from an institutional standpoint, I have no authority to say the things that I say.
Right.
Do you understand? Like, I have no authority to say the things that I say. That's from an institutional standpoint. You get me? So it's like, where's your certificate for saying something like this? Like, what's your experience?
Right.
But I would say that I think that by God's design, my propensity to be a sponge and soak in a whole other experiences has set me in good stead to be able to relate with so many people across social strata. So, and I've realized for like people who function within this space, who basically talk about life, right? I think is a thing wherein I think where they have the most challenge is their inability to really connect.
Yes.
And it's not through any fault of theirs. If you've lived a unidimensional life or regimented life, it'll be so difficult to connect with people across different levels. For instance, I was raised as a botty kid. My parents weren't wealthy people, right? But they were learned. My dad was learned. My dad is late now. My mom is still here. So my dad was a teacher. My mom was a teacher as well. So there were a couple of things that, as a function of their exposure, they had already ingrained in my psyche. So there were a lot of things that they raised me to be, prim and proper and all of that. But I'd been a stubborn kid, right? Not the stubborn, blatantly stubborn kid, but this quiet stubbornness where I would not verbally oppose, but eventually I'll do what I want to do, right? That kind of quiet stubbornness, I've always had that. So I was raised to be this, and I was excelling. In that regard, I was a straight A student. But outside of that, I was on the streets playing football. All my guys were thugs. You understand? All my guys were thugs. Or most of my guys I used to play football with were thugs, right? I would not engage in like a lot of the things I did. Like the common denominator was just football, because I was really good at football, right? So I learned from them. I learned from books, learned from my parents, went to university, learned. You will see me in the library all night reading, but I was not reading my own courses. I was not reading materials. I studied political science in the University of Ibadan. I was not reading anything pertaining to political science. I was in library reading human kinetics, reading anatomy, reading psychology, sociology. I just wanted to be versed across board. So I think my propensity for divesting has set me in good stead to relate to people no matter their orientation or background. So this I would say, again, by God's design, I've always been in that position to be able to relate with so many people.
A bookworm and the life of the party. You had the best. You maximize your childhood.
Absolutely.
And you know what? That is what we do here. We believe in light, so we shed light. And we believe in love, so we spread love. But you gotta laugh, man. That's the third L. We believe in sharing laughter.
Absolutely.
Let's laugh. Okay. So, do you go with the flow? Would you say you go with intuition, or do you strategize?
I don't strategize. I don't even plan.
Okay.
And, you see how immediate my response was. Exactly. I don't plan. I don't strategize. I don't know that. I am probably the most spontaneous person you will meet. I go with the flow. I go with the flow. I make, decisions that you would, like destiny defining decisions. I make them on a whim. Like, one day I woke up and said I was no longer doing 9 to 5, and that was the end for me. And that was in 2017.
And you hadn't gone back?
No, till now.
Wow.
I prepared my mind. I was like, you are going to suffer for a certain period, and you have to be okay with it. And I was okay with it. So I'm the kind of person who, when I make a decision, I make it.
You stick with it.
So strategy is great. Planning is great. But you can see from like what I've told you about my life, there is no rhyme or reason to it. As a function of the things that I've done or the experiences that I've had in life, I have no business being where I am today. Do you understand? What I am doing right now was never in my plan until May last year.
Wow.
So this content that I put out now that has garnered me hundreds of thousands of followers, right, started in June 2024.
That's awesome.
Exactly. So I realized when I plan, it never works out. So my idea is, how when recording artists want to like drop an album, right? And then they do a promotional rollout. That's what my life is. But I don't know what
just rollout upon rollout.
I don't know what's in the album. You get me? I don't know what music is in there, but I'm rolling. I'm unfolding. I keep unfolding. I'm telling you, man, as impactful as what I'm doing right now is to the glory of God, if tomorrow, if I am required to stop doing it, I will. Instant. I'm telling you point blank. I will.
Wow.
That's it.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That's it. So that's just what I'm saying, that my approach to life has always been that whatever I find myself doing or wherever situation I find myself in, I make the most of it. I make the most of it. I do it as if I'm going to do it for the rest of my life until it no longer looks like something I want to do for the rest of my life.
And then you move on.
And then I move on.
Yeah.
You get me? I'm a traveler after all.
Yeah. You've got to realize when something is just a stepping block. But in the beginning, you're going to do it like that's it.
Absolutely.
But once you have the clarity and the inclination that it's time to move on, you should use that. You should, take note of what your gut feelings are telling you and then move.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's your spirit guide.
The question that you asked about, like intuition and strategy, that's great, right? But one thing that I've realized from having conversations with people is even the disparity between strategy and planning. A lot of people don't know the difference. A lot of people don't know how to apply which. I've realized so many times, what people call plan actually strategy. It's like I plan to be in the top percentile of high earners in Nigeria. That's not a plan.
That's a strategy.
That's a strategy.
Now you have to develop the plan to make that happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when they say I plan to do that, then they start winging it. It does not work.
It ends up not being so strategic. Because
exactly. So plan is usually short to mid-term. It requires short to mid-term execution, right? Ideation. Strategy is the long-term. Strategy is the why and where. Plan is the what and how. So I plan to be in the top 5 wealthiest people in the world because I see how economically disadvantaged West Africa is, and I want to invest heavily. That's strategy. The plan is, what venture do I go into that can guarantee me this level of, liquidity.
Yeah.
Right, then the plan would unfold. Okay, first I do this. First I take this educational course to understand this industry properly, or first I get a mentor in this industry to do this. After that I do this. After that, that's plan. Right, so I just decided to put that out there because it's something that has occurred a lot of times when people ask me questions like, "Oh, I plan to do this." I'm like, "That's not a plan." Right?
Yeah, I agree. So let me ask you, in a situation where it feels like damn if you do, damn if you don't, a dilemma, what do you think people regret most? That they didn't do or that they did?
That they didn't do.
I agree. I feel that way.
That they didn't do, because again, they say ignorance is bliss, so if you didn't do it, there is you can feel good about, like, you might feel good about not doing, but you see the eternal question of what if,
right?
That question never goes away.
Yeah, because you can't say it didn't work out. You didn't do it.
Exactly. So that question never it's one of the questions that I hate the most.
Yeah.
I don't like to entertain it. So whenever I'm presented with scenarios that can present me or that can pose that kind of question, I go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So and then again, like a lot of usually damned if I do, at least from like experience for me, damned if I do, damned if I don't scenarios are usually scenarios that call for a higher version of yourself, right? A situation that demands qualities that your present self does not have yet. So it requires that you compulsorily grow. You understand? And that is not a comfortable thing. That's not a comfortable thing.
Yeah.
A lot of ways, like when we pray for something, right? Our propensity to, if we knew how exactly those prayers will be answered, we would not pray them.
Yeah.
Because these things will demand a lot of things from us, will stretch us, and we do not want that. I know from an anatomical standpoint, right? Do you know why we do not want that? Because of our brains. Your brain is placed in your head to protect and preserve you.
Yeah.
Now, it can only do that to the best of its ability within your comfort zone. Because it is familiar with your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It is familiar with your routine. But the moment growth is required of you, it means you have to step outside of your comfort zone. Your brain is not familiar with there. So your brain will instantly start feeding you reasons as to why you should not, and start pulling you back.
Yeah.
Now what you do in that scenario is that you push regardless. Now when you push regardless and your brain realizes that you are not returning back, what your brain then does is your brain is forced to align with you. Now as opposed to trying to pull you back, it starts feeding you information on how to do better and how to maximize the new space that you're in. And eventually, after a while, your brain gets so used to this new level that you're on that if you want to fall back, your brain is the one telling you, nah man, we already left that place,
we're
right?
good here. We're adapted.
Exactly.
So stay.
So you can actually bully your brain. I've done it so many times. You can bully your brain into submission.
The only time you should bully.
yeah.
Okay, so allow me to do some rapid questions with you real quick as we bring this to a close.
Got you.
Just 3 questions.
Okay.
All right. What's a tradition that you would say needs to end? Like, stop it. Let's stop it.
And there's a lot, right?
For me, it's greeting cards. Because I always I'll get you a gift, but I'll forget the greeting card. You're probably going to throw it away anyways. Like, how many greeting cards are you going to keep and for how long? I almost always forget. So it needs to just stop. Can we stop it for me? I'll just give give you a gift and, say happy birthday or whatever it is that we're celebrating you about.
I think people are sentimental too. Again, like, I think we also have to look at the antecedents, right? So greeting cards came primarily from a period wherein, none of this gadgets existed,
right?
So it was a means of articulating how we felt about the other person. So that's how we started, right? But I think the very essence of greeting cards has been eroded, because the aim was to pour out your heart to somebody, be it a lover, a friend, a family member, and all of that. But now it is no longer what's the word now? It's no longer, should I say, genuine, because a lot of times you buy the card, you don't even read what's written there, right? You just send. So what's really heartfelt about it,
right?
If you wanted to really tell somebody how you felt about them, right, you'd write it yourself, right? It'll be in your own words, right? All right. And if you have to do it like in your own words and write it in a piece of paper, some people will argue you might as well send it as a text. Right?
The text gang.
Yeah, you might as well send it as a text, But again, it has to do with the ages. We're at a point wherein there is no sentimental value towards that anymore. So I guess I might agree with you in that it probably has to end. I guess what my own tradition is much deeper. It's more, what I would say as well, is more deeper. I absolutely detest and hate the phrase "act your age." I hate it so much.
I can't blame you.
I hate it so much. Like, what does that even mean?
Yes.
Act your age. Are there specific tasks and ventures ascribed to people according to age distribution?
Right.
That's stupid. Forgive me, right? Nigeria, age-wise, is a very young country. The average age in Nigeria is 18. That means a larger percentile of that, about 70% of Nigerians, have not even gotten economic strength yet, right? So in a country that is over 220 million people, by the way, and we don't have as much elderly people as we should, right? It means a lot of things that you would expect should be defined by age traditionally would not work, because the age distribution is just really warped, right? Also, I don't think there's age limits to doing anything.
I don't believe in age limits
right? So that whole act your age thing, I don't like it at all.
Okay. All right. So next question.
Alrighty.
What quote do you think sums up your way of life?
My way of life. Ooh. This is my personal quote. I coined it. I wrote it. You can't lay claim to ideas. You can only lay claim to your execution of the ideas.
I like it.
So, I have this idea. I don't rate it. You can't impress me with that, because I can guarantee that somebody else has the same idea.
But how did you execute?
Exactly. So what you can say is, I had this idea, I executed. Show me that you have failed at it. I will respect you, than you saying, I get this idea, man. I have this idea. I want to do this. I want to do that. I don't rate it. And I can't sincerely, I can't respect that. You know why I can't respect that? Because I consider myself a thinker myself. You know how many ideas run through my head. So, and I don't act on a lot of them. So if you're telling me that you have a lot of ideas, I'm like, me too. So there's nothing impressive about it. Did you execute? When you execute, I respect you, right? So you can't lay claim to ideas. Everybody has ideas. What you can lay claim to is your execution. The ideas. So that's.
I agree. That's a really good one. So lastly, what would we find in your mug? Coffee or tea?
You know what?
You don't have a mug?
I have mugs. I have mugs with my name. It's scripted, or what's the word that people have said to me? So It'll be coffee.
Okay.
So, close to a decade ago, I was diagnosed with clinical anxiety, right? So, some of the things I was told to cut off at that point in time was coffee.
Wow.
So for years, I didn't take coffee.
Wow.
But due to the chaotic space that I found myself right now, me realizing that 24 hours are not enough, so now I'm beginning to dabble. Now I have a pack of coffee, at home. So every now and then I take coffee, but I can't remember the last time I had tea. I mean, if it came around, like if I was offered, I mean, that's nice.
Yeah.
But I would not make tea, but I would make coffee.
Make coffee. Yeah.
So I guess it's coffee.
All right. Thank you for indulging.
That's what's up.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you all for listening. Frank, once again, I appreciate you. It's
My
been
pleasure.
an absolute pleasure to converse with you before now and just now.
I had a great time, and you're a great conversationalist.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you all. If today's conversation spoke to you, please share, subscribe, and reflect. Remember, even when the clouds seem so heavy, light will always find a way. There is always an opportunity to shed light around you, spread love with those that are with you, and share laughter with those that are by you. Ciao.